Hello everyone, welcome to Tokunommentaries. I'm Austin.
And I'm Christian.
And today we're talking about the long-awaited Godzilla -1.
Yay!
It's the first, I think it's the first tokusatsu we talked about that, was released while we were recording the show.
Sure. Yeah. What?
We talked about it.
I think it was in our first episode about news.
Yeah.
Or one of our first episodes, at least.
The point is, we're talking about Godzilla -1.
Yes!
We did a brief review about it in one of the Godzilla podcasts. But here we're going to do a full-on dive into Godzilla -1, talk about what happened afterwards within the film sphere.
Yeah.
And then kind of sign off on that one. It's a pretty quick podcast.
It shouldn't be a super long one, yeah.
Patreon.com/Tokunommentaries, where you can see the commentary tracks for Godzilla -1 and all the other Godzilla Monsterverse movies, as well as Power Rangers, Super Sentai, and some Kamen Rider. If you join the Kaiju tier, you get a commentary track just to yourself every single month.
Yes, you do.
So far, we've done the Pacific Rim series, Rodan, and something spicy.
Yeah.
You have to check out the Patreon for that one. We'll say it was enlightening.
Definitely revealed a lot about both of us.
Please stop. Dubious.
Check out our Discord.
Check out our Discord, link in the description below. Join it. Come talk about all sorts of tokusatsu and stuff like that. Normally at the beginning of this, by the way, we do a, if you join the Patreon, you get a commentary track. We usually do a thing where we go, woo, and then you see a clip from that commentary track. We're just going to be real. That commentary track, not very funny.
Informative and fun, and we talk about the movie, but honestly, it's Godzilla -1. Everyone who's seen the movie.
We make maybe a joke every 20 minutes.
It is not a lot to make fun of in that movie. It's good, and also it's kind of depressing. So
I think I make.
We did our best here.
Yeah, it's very hard to watch. In fact, honestly, I don't even recommend watching the commentary track as your first watch of the movie.
Please don't. Yeah, please watch our commentary or listen to our commentary tracks for the movies, but not the first time with this one.
Just for this one.
Yeah.
You deserve to watch -1 on your own first, and then come back.
If you want to hear our talk shit about stuff.
Yeah, we go really, really in depth into it. We get it. We talk about theories. We talk about filmmaking and all that kind of stuff inside of it.
And we try to make jokes. We do try.
We do try, and some of them are funny. It's kind of hard though to talk about it. We'll talk about that once we get to this. Yeah. But yeah, if you join the Discord and you're a Kaiju member, you get a special shout out.
You do.
Thank you to Swift Bacon Eater.
Swift Bacon Eater. We'll have a name up.
Can you put in? No, I don't want to make you do more edits.
It's okay. What do you want me to do?
Put some bacon pieces next to it.
Oh, of course, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
And everyone gets a special little thing. Every Kaiju.
Yeah, and then please like, comment, subscribe.
Really helps our channel out a lot.
Really helps the channel out. We appreciate it, you guys. Just clicking on the video and hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Ready to get into it?
Sure.
Godzilla as a franchise. We've talked about it a couple of times. I think over doing this show, my views on Godzilla are very mixed.
Okay, yeah.
And I have changed my opinions a lot about Godzilla over these past couple of months of doing this with you and stuff like that.
In a good way or a bad way?
They've changed. So I don't want to know. It's not bad. There's been some things that I've been surprised I like. I liked King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we weren't surprised that I liked that. But I also liked a little bit of Godzilla versus Kong, which you are notorious for being a hater of that.
Yes.
I didn't like. It's not that I didn't like, or that I liked it, but I didn't hate it like
Careful.
you do.
Yeah. Careful.
And
Could be our last
also,
episode.
watching the original Godzilla movie was awesome. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought that movie was fantastic.
It's a great movie.
And then, recently we talked about Godzilla Raids Again, which, by the way, as of recording of this, that's our
surprisingly best doing video.
Yeah, and honestly,
Sure.
I just want to say, thank you guys so much. That it really does mean a lot to me.
Just troopers.
And it means a lot to us.
Yeah. That was a nice surprise.
Yeah, and so seeing everyone there, it means the world to us. So we appreciate you guys, and if you like seeing that stuff, there's more to come in the future.
Yes.
Godzilla's
not going anywhere. We have a lot of content.
We got plenty. But over these past, couple of months, I have been surprised with Godzilla. I've been disappointed by Godzilla. But there is no Godzilla project I've ever watched so far for this where I've watched it again for this and have been left as starstruck as I am with just about anything.
Yeah.
But this movie was I don't even know where to start.
Yeah. I mean, you watched it. You watched it 3 times, correct?
This is like the first tokusatsu movie I've ever watched more than once.
Yeah. You watched it once when it came out with me, and you watched the black and white release.
Did we talk about that during the pod? I don't think we have.
I don't think we had watched it at that point.
We'll talk about it.
We'll get there. But then you watched it again on Netflix for the actual pod for the commentary. And at this point I've seen it 8 times now.
Yeah.
8. And so I mean I can watch that movie over again and be totally fine with it. Every time my loving this movie has not diminished the 8 times I've watched it.
All right. You want to just get into the number rating?
Sure, we can just throw that real quick.
You ready?
Yep.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
10
out of 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the first time I think I gave it like a 9 or 9.5 out of 10. Watching it the third time, I was like, no, this movie is perfect.
Yeah. Honestly, I nitpicky things at best are things I can throw out this movie.
Yeah. I would say I watched this movie with you, and we were talking about it, and the question popped into my brain of what is the best thing that we watched for the pod? And I would say the 2 best things that we watched are King Oger and -1.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other competition between them.
Nothing gets too close now.
At least for us.
Yeah. King Oger was really good just because it was surprisingly good. I think we were expecting a lot from it.
Yeah. But Godzilla -1, we knew it was going to be something different. And I mean, we'll be kind of reiterating some of the things that we said in the original one. Did we go fully into the story?
No, I think we kind of just did a brief overview.
Do you want to? We can do a play-by-play if you want.
I don't know if we can do it like a scene-by-scene play. We can do like a plot.
A general play-by-play.
Yeah, general plot play.
Okay, yeah. Real quick, some of the stuff surrounding this movie that we didn't get to talk about. Godzilla -1 won a fucking Oscar.
Yeah, the first Godzilla movie to be nominated, the first Godzilla movie to win an Oscar award.
And honestly, so well deserved. It won Best Visual Effects.
Yeah, Best Visual Effects.
And honestly, fucking amazing.
Yeah. Fantastic.
The budget is still a hot topic of debate of what it was. I think most people were like, it's 15 million, or it's a little less, or actually that was a lie, and stuff like that. No matter what, the consensus is the budget for this movie was piss.
Yeah, it was very low compared to other
big blockbuster movies that were coming out. And the fact that it not only was so successful, but it did it so on such a small budget that it's kind of incredible, because you don't walk away from that movie being like
I felt cheap.
That cheap. Like,
no.
Yeah, like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's so well deserved.
Yeah, I was warning for this. This podcast is gonna be a lot of us just gawking.
Yeah, we're just gonna be taking.
We love this.
We're just be taking Godzilla.
I'm pretty sure that's the mic's blocking that. It's probably for the best.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm sucking Godzilla. Wait. When we're doing this in like 2 weeks, give it that hook to date our podcast. Will you quit making jokes? This is supposed to be a serious
podcast.
This is supposed to be a serious. No. Our podcast is fucked up.
Oh yeah, okay.
But this movie, we gotta take it seriously.
Movie is serious.
So don't spit on the Godzilla dick tail.
My bad. I'll do better next time.
I know you will.
Where were we?
I just want one last thing on the Oscar thing.
Okay.
If you can find the image, please put it up. It's one of my favorite images of all time. It's the entire Godzilla -1 like the crew going up to their to get their Oscar, and somebody is holding.
Yeah, they have like a little Godzilla -1 figure.
They have a golden Godzilla -1 figure with like a little bow tie on it. If you could find that for me,
I'll find it.
It's one of my favorite images. Please post that.
I'll do my best.
Honestly, I'm looking at this movie and like I understand why, but it definitely should have been nominated for Best Picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly, like when I went out of this movie, I was honestly not thinking like, oh, this movie has best visual effects. I was like, this movie has a great story, like great writing, great characters.
Yeah.
There's so many other things I wish was nominated for and got, but I'll take what I can get.
Take what we can get. We got an Oscar. Up top, Tokusatsu crew. So, let's get into the movie.
Sure. Get into it.
Starts off World War II, towards the tail end of World War II.
I believe it's 1945 is when the opening take place, and they're on Odo Island, which is a cool reference to the original Godzilla. Which that island they go to at the beginning is Odo Island as well.
Right.
Fun little nod.
And I'm gonna get the name. Can you please tell what we start with?
Yeah. So we start with. Are you looking up the main character's name?
Yes.
Okay. To be determined. He is a kamikaze pilot who is flying into Odo Island Air Base. It's a repair base for kamikaze pilots. And you find out that he is faking his engine failure because he is scared of being a kamikaze pilot, obviously. I told you this movie is not funny.
Koichi.
Koichi. What's his last name?
Shigeshima.
I always just call him Shigeshima.
Yeah.
So much easier to remember.
And so, yeah, he's fleeing from his duties of war.
Yeah. But, like, in his defense, this is after Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Like, there's no reason to fight anymore. And that's what everyone talking about, hey, we don't blame you at all, honestly. Like, yeah, we get you. Because there's no point in fighting anymore.
And that's kind of another thing, too, is that, like, one of the movies that me and you have argued about is I don't like Shin Kamen Rider. Or so, no, I don't. I also don't like that.
I also like Shin Kamen Rider.
But Shin Godzilla, which is a very hot take that I have.
Wrong, yeah.
One of the reasons that I don't like is that it's very political, and I think that takes away from I think it's a detriment to the movie, which I know people really like that about the movie, but I found it. We'll talk about it sometime, but I found it very tedious. Whereas this one, it uses its politicalness to tell a really just sour story without slapping you in the face with it. You know what I mean? Like it's used through just small conversations that Koichi has with a lot of the other characters in the movie. But I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Continue on, please.
You're good. This is also where we meet Tachibana, which is the mechanic.
Yep.
What comes up later in the movie. And he
lands the plane. And he's hanging out there for the night when Daddy G comes up.
Yeah, a little and he's not actually dubbed Godzillasaurus, but I would just call him Godzillasaurus because that's what he looks like. It is a non-mutated Godzilla. And I think what do you think about his design?
I loved it. I thought it was totally fine. I wasn't offended by it at all.
No, I thought it was fine. I wasn't like super like, oh, this guy's super duper cool looking. I was just kind of like in the middle. I was like, hey, I get it. I think it's cool. I mean, he's only in the movie for a minute. Or two.
Like 3-4 minutes tops.
And it's also like super dark, so you don't even see it anyway. Too much.
But dude, from the beginning,
this guy is menacing.
He's a fucking he's a monster. And he is scary as fuck.
Yeah, and so what's funny about this movie, and when I came out of it, is one thing I was talking about too, is like this Godzilla is really small compared to other Godzillas, especially when he's a Godzillasaurus. Really small compared to other Godzillas. And these newer Godzilla movies, Godzilla is like 120 meters. Like he's just getting bigger and bigger, 300 meters, you know? And it's like, well, how big can we make Godzilla? But this movie is the first movie in a really long time, our first Godzilla project, to really make Godzilla feel big.
They definitely do make his, like,
yeah.
I totally get where you're coming from.
And he's only 50 meters, which is how big the original Godzilla is, and he's just, like, you feel his size. And even when he's a Godzillasaurus, like, he's trampling on people, and it's so good.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Well, I'll say before we get too far in this movie, please go watch this movie. Before we're going to get into spoilers, obviously. But please watch it. You're doing yourself a disservice.
Our last warning. We're I don't think we're going to punch up. We're going to really go into spoilers for this movie.
Yeah, we are.
Koichi wakes up after this big monster attack. Everyone is dead except for him and Tachibana.
Yeah.
And this is the first instance of Koichi dealing with PTSD.
Yeah.
And he feels guilty for not helping during the fight.
Yeah, because he had a chance to shoot Godzilla with his plane, and he chickened out of it.
Yeah. And it's the first instance of him running away of many times where he will be running away from the fight where he, you know, and it's kind of this, fuck, dude. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to ramble, but like seeing his character arc of him going from, let's just be honest, this almost coward.
Yeah.
And him.
Like, no one can blame him, but he is cowardice, and that's the part of his character.
Yes, I'm not saying like to blame him for running away from being like a kamikaze pilot. I'm saying he's a coward in everything that he does. He runs away from everyone and everything. He's distancing himself from people and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
you know, it's gonna be a whole thing we'll get into, but like seeing him grow from this, honestly, this weak man, and seeing him grow and change into like this man who will
this hero.
It's fucking beautiful.
It's great. They do it so well.
Easily, I don't know if it's a hot take. I know we debated about it. He's easily my favorite, at least Godzilla protagonist.
I think honestly, he's probably the best Godzilla protagonist. Godzilla honestly is like, movies don't have a lot of like major protagonists. Usually it's just them running around trying to either avoid Godzilla or
stop him
or stop the monster he's fighting.
Right.
That's usually how Godzilla protagonists work. It's a lot focused around him. But like human focused movies, nothing crazy comes from the characters except for this guy. He's amazing. All the characters in the movie are amazing. There's not a character I do not like in this movie. Fantastic.
Yeah. And so afterwards, he gets shipped back home, and it's right after the bomb dropped. And he goes home. Just about everyone he knows and loves is dead. Yeah. His home's gone, you know, and we get one of the first best scenes in the movie. And honestly, it's oh my God, every scene in this movie is just golden. Yeah. We meet one of the side characters. It's his next door neighbor, and she's this bitter old woman who has lost everybody. All of her children are dead. I believe she says her husband's dead. Yeah. And seeing him, the acting is so good. So good. Because she sees him and she's like, "Oh, you survived. You were a fucking kamikaze pilot."
Yeah, and it's like, "Wait, why are you back?" Yeah.
And she gets mad at him and justifiably for the time. And it's understanding. I understand where she's coming from. Yeah. From that point, and it's just, you feel this like pit of like, fuck. Yeah. Right.
Like everyone's sad.
So we cut to the next big character we meet. Koichi is running around the market, and he meets Noriko and baby.
I don't remember
the
her name.
baby,
The
child, Akiko.
Akiko, that's what it is.
So
They're horrible
Noriko
names.
and Akiko. Noriko is not the mother of this child.
No, she found this kid.
She found this kid after the bombs dropped and had been taking care of the child. And so, through shenanigans, Noriko, Akiko, and
Chikishima or Koichima.
Koichi all move in together, and they sort of start this makeshift family together.
Yeah.
And, you know, let's talk about Noriko's actress. First off, this you really feel like this woman has lost everything, but she's trying to start a new life after the bombs drop. She is what Koichi can be, right? If he would just move on from his PTSD. I know that's really making light of it. But
move on from the war.
Move on from the war, which is the thing she constantly asks him about is your war over yet? An amazing line, by the way.
Yeah.
And she does an amazing performance of being like Koichi's center, because everything that happens basically from this point forward is surrounded by Akiko and Noriko. So obviously they need money. He finds a job.
Yep.
Finds a job on a boat with the boys. Woo! Up top. Hey,
boys.
Boy, up top.
Boys.
Yeah.
Let's go.
With the boys. Don't high five them. They're not real.
They're right there. I see them.
Put some clothes on.
Come
or
on.
No. So he gets this job on a boat, right?
Yeah.
And
they're basically like minesweepers.
Yeah, they're minesweepers. They're blowing up mines in the in the ocean surrounding Japan. Yeah.
Yep. God, I love these guys.
Oh, they're the best.
This is probably my favorite part of the movie is just when these all four are together. It's just,
yeah, they're hanging out and they have this chemistry, and they bring up some of the most light-hearted moments in this very dark movie.
Yeah.
You know, and seeing these guys, they have great chemistry together. I'm not gonna go into each one of them.
Yeah, but they're all great in their own rights, and I love them. Like every time you them on screen, I know it's gonna be a good scene because these guys are amazing. Yeah.
So we go from there. Everything is all hunky dory. It seems like the life is getting better.
Things are turning up
until
the American testing of a nuclear bomb in the Bikini Atoll, which is a pretty classic way of Godzilla getting his powers. He gets that a lot. Like in the MonsterVerse, he also happens. It's not where he gets his powers, but that happens there, right? And so this is where Godzilla gets his, Godzilla form. He gets nuclear radiated.
That guy.
Kind of like this guy. He's similar. This is not him.
That guy?
That's definitely not him.
No.
Okay.
Yes. But yeah, so then Godzilla attacks, and it has this little montage of Godzilla, of the U.S. trying to track Godzilla, and he's just taking out each of these ships.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which is kind of fun. But yeah.
But the first scene that we get after all of this has gone on, we get the first Godzilla scene of him chasing the boat in the ocean, which is so intense.
It's so intense.
And we see Godzilla get hurt.
Yeah, we see they blow up a mine inside of his mouth, and it's just...
And it does nothing to him.
Yeah, he falls over for a second, and then just comes back.
It regenerates. Yeah, it's so
cool. Godzilla's always had a regeneration ability, most of the time, not always, but 9 times out of 10, he has a regeneration ability, but you don't ever actually really see it in action until this movie, and it's so cool. It's so cool. They did such a great job.
But eventually, they're able to escape from this tense scene.
This is also the first time you can see Godzilla's atomic breath. Not in full force, but you can see a sneak peek of it.
A glimpse of it.
Yeah, because they get a warship comes in, trying to kind of take the heat off of them, and Godzilla just takes it out. And it's a huge explosion. Easily the most destructive Godzilla Atomic Breath ever in any movie.
Even Shin Godzilla?
Yeah.
He wiped out the entirety of Tokyo, I think.
So did this. To the -1. He only did it. He did it in like a second.
That's true.
Shin Godzilla took a second.
We'll talk about that. It's a whole fuck, dude.
We'll get there. We'll get there soon. But yeah, this is the first time you get a glimpse of it. It's just this massive explosion, and it's like, oh my god. So badass.
So we
Love
cut
this guy.
from there and we go to shit. What happens after that?
And then it kind of slows down a little bit. This is where he opens up to Noriko about what really happened on Odo Island, because at this point she didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of it, and then nothing really big happens.
For a while, it's a lot more character stuff.
Just more characters interacting with each other.
Until Godzilla comes to the land.
Ginza scene.
Let's talk about this.
Love the Ginza scene.
What's it called?
So,
Ginza?
Ginza? That's where they are, yeah.
Yeah.
This district they're in.
This is we saw a lot of this scene, a little bit of this scene from the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
From the trailer, this shit looked insane.
Yeah, like Godzilla's stepping down and just the streets beneath him are coming up, and people are flying up, being crushed.
Yeah.
So good.
Fuck, I just want to get to it.
Yeah.
Noriko and Koichi are in the city, and Godzilla does his first atomic breath.
Yeah, first full, you see, oh my god, his spines, and like they pop up one after another.
It is, I remember sitting there in the theater, and as soon as like his spine started popping up, and he started glowing, and you hear the
yeah.
I was shitting myself.
It's so good.
And to this day, that shit still gets me goosebumps.
I get the biggest smile on my face every time I see that scene.
It is so badass.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it invites this like new feeling I've never had, where one of the best things that I love about this movie is that Godzilla is fucking scary.
Yeah.
And so watching those go up,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what it's about to be, I think makes it more terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, this is really the first movie I think that did it be easily the best at Godzilla being scary.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Godzilla 1986 definitely did it a little bit. Shin Godzilla tried, and I think at some points it was.
It does. That's easily
like
my
when you
favorite.
see his spine's going purple in like the smoke,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, oh shit, this thing's about to go down.
Yeah.
But I think this one definitely does it the best.
And when he fires that, and again, my one nitpick is that it cuts to him. It's like he's like, and then it cuts back to Koichi, and he's like, "Hey, I know that shit." And then,
hey, yeah, I don't mind it. It's just kind of like, oh shit.
Yeah. But man, that blast in the theater.
Yeah, like I watched it 6 times in the theater, and I watched it over a long period of time, so people are coming back to see it.
Mm.
That scene, every single time, dead silence in the theater.
Yeah.
Dead silence. And can you look up his name? It's the guy who does the conduct of the music. He's had a couple of other tracks in this movie at this point too, but this is the first time that you feel the score.
Sato Naoko? Not that guy?
Yeah. Yeah, we call him Sato. Sato, you did great. If you're watching this, I love you.
I love you. Please come on our show.
I love the soundtrack of this movie. That scene, the track in that scene is called Divine. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so good. So good. Oh my god.
And just, it's that entire scene of just like the blast happens, like everybody gets fucking blown away, and then they come back.
Oh, the air sucks back in.
Oh my god, it's insane. And of course, it's brought in with, I think, one of the things that I was scared about was that in this movie is like, man, if there is one scene of like cheese, this entire movie can be ruined by it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I thought it was going to happen. Where Koichi comes out after watching Noriko get fucking vaporized.
Yeah.
Watching everyone die. seeing Godzilla, like he turns, sees Godzilla with the giant mushroom cloud in the back,
Yeah.
and he does like his version of the no.
Yeah.
But his
It's
actor
heart-wrenching.
puts on such a good performance that any cheese is immediately gone.
Yeah.
And what I think is supposed to be blood,
It's not blood. It's like
oil.
I think it's like sulfur or something like that. Something from the explosion. It's not.
Oh.
I don't think because it's black.
Mhm.
And I think it would be red if it was meant to be blood. Not quite sure. I think it's something. It's like some kind of chemical.
Yeah, but it like him doing it, and then
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
it starts like raining.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah. My favorite thing about the scene is he comes out and he's just like Norco, like he's looking for her, and then like he like clicks and he's like, oh, Godzilla. Like he forgets about Godzilla for a good portion of that scene.
Yeah.
And it's so good. So good.
So the funeral happens.
Mm-hmm.
They all, him and basically the last remaining people of Ginza and like the city surrounding it come together. They're like, hey, we got this plan.
Mm-hmm.
No one's come to help us.
Yeah. Military's not doing anything. U.S. isn't doing anything. Like this is a civilian-led organization. Organization.
So it's this ragtag team of ex-military and just men that want to help.
Mm-hmm.
And they come up with a plan.
Yeah.
They even, first off, it's bullshit.
The plan, no, I think it's awesome.
No,
Sense.
no, it's awesome. But like, even the characters are like, hey, yo, one thing goes wrong, we're all fucked.
Yeah, it's definitely like a ride or die.
So I appreciate that in universe they also acknowledge that like, yo, if one thing goes wrong, we're fucked. Mm-hmm. And everyone's just like,
yeah. But as far as like plans to kill Godzilla though, it's easily my favorite of any Godzilla movie.
It's one of the more believable ones and better ones, and I think it's better executed for sure.
It's not like we'll just try to shoot as many missiles we can at Godzilla, you know?
It's so
very scientific, it's very thought through, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah. So we come from there and we get this last bit of like characterization with the boys, with Koichi, and he realizes like a plan Z.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case we can put a bomb in his mouth, make him swallow it this time, right?
Well, his pitch to his friends, it was, hey, can I get a fighter plane so I can lead Godzilla back to the main plan, if in case he goes off track, or he comes up sooner than we expect, right? That was the pitch for the plane. He had a secret plot to put a bomb in the plane and fly into it and fulfill his kamikaze, which is what he thinks he needs to do. And yeah, then we get into them. They find a plane.
Find a plane.
Pretty cool plane.
But they need someone to help.
Yeah, someone to fix it up because there's not many fighter pilots.
So
pilot mechanics.
They get Tachibana. Now, one of the things that you complained about, and I disagree on, was you didn't like that it had to be Tachibana.
I don't mind that. I get from his perspective it had to be Tachibana, but I wish they kind of went more like, hey, like and they had one-off sentence about it, but like it was like, dude, a lot more is at stake here than just getting this one guy. Because like Shikishima, he did not want anybody else. He would not let anybody else work on this plane. They had other people that could have worked on the plane sooner, but he's like, no, I want Tachibana to do it. And that kind of bothers me, because I feel like at this point he should be in the story. He should be like more like, okay, no, I gotta kill Godzilla now. But he seems like it's more up in his own personal issues. It is a nitpick.
I think he's trying to wrap everything up.
Yeah, it is a very small nitpick. I still love this movie. I don't mind that plot point. I just thought I had a little bit of a personal issue with it.
Yeah. So he eventually finds Tachibana, gets him to help him.
Yeah.
They get the plane. Fight time.
Fight time. Fight time.
So they execute the plan.
Well, first of all, it goes wrong because.
Oh yeah, everything goes wrong.
Everything goes wrong immediately. Godzilla comes on shore way sooner than they expect. They weren't able to launch the ships yet, and Godzilla is in the countryside heading towards Tokyo again. And he, that's where the plane comes in, and then he has a fun little dogfight with Godzilla, and he leads him back to the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Then fight time.
Then fight.
What plan takes place, please?
Everything goes wrong, and it takes a while, but they're able to. They just need one more push.
Yeah.
And
for brief explanation of the plan.
Yeah, you got it.
Godzilla floats on the surface of the water. They can do CO2 bubbles around Godzilla, and it'll, I don't know the science behind it, but it'll drop in the bottom of the ocean. So there's this trench wherever they are, and they're just gonna drop them down the bottom of the trench, just make that the pressure of the water basically crush him to death. And then if for some reason that didn't kill him, which it should, they have these balloons that are rafts.
It was rafts, yeah.
That will expand, and then he'll float back on the surface quickly, and the depressurization should finish him off. That's the plan. And it goes well at first.
You can tell that he's fucked up from it.
Oh, yeah, this guy, yeah. He gets down bottom, doesn't quite die, so they pull him back up, and then he stops about halfway up.
Yeah.
Because he's chewed through the rafts.
But he comes up, and he's all fucked up looking, but he's still kicking, and he's about to do his atomic blast. When here comes our boy
Shikishima.
And he comes in with a bomb. Plane goes in, it explodes, it kills Godzilla.
Yep.
And in this beautiful moment, you see the little
parachute come down
with him.
Yeah.
And it's this beautiful moment where everyone's celebrating and happy that he's alive, especially Tachibana.
Yeah, I love Tachibana in this movie. He's probably my single favorite character. Because he has every reason to hate this guy. He has every reason to want to see this guy die. All of it, he killed all of his friends practically. Right? But he still is hey, this plane has an injection sheet. Or I can install an injection sheet in this plane. And
because he's tired of death.
My thing about it, I don't know if I'm sure this is what they were trying to go to, is he finally was able to save somebody from the island from that night. Yeah,
and I love your interpretation of it.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful. Whatever it is, it's one of the most, it's very beautiful. It's seeing him
oh, he's alive. Yeah, it's so good. So good.
And then we cut to them all coming off the boat. He gets a note.
Yeah.
Or Koichi gets a note. He runs off with Akiko
to a hospital.
Opens the door, and sees Noriko. Now, I've seen a lot of debate and discourse about.
This is the single biggest complaint I've seen from the movie.
Was her being alive.
Being alive at the end? Yeah, being alive and pretty unscarred. She has bandages covering herself, but everything that bandage isn't covering is completely fine.
Yeah. And so this is the biggest point of contention, and honestly, I just don't care.
Yeah.
I thought about it, and I've finally come to a consensus, and I think we both agree. The moment that she asks him, "Is your war over?" I usually hate fake out deaths.
Yeah.
And this is technically one of them.
Yes.
And it's really egregious one too. But I think this movie is hyper depressing. It's not a normal Godzilla film. Normal Godzilla film. And I think having this positive outlook on life and being this hopeful ending is beautiful. Is it bullshit? Maybe.
A little bit.
But honestly, I don't care.
Yeah. I'm honestly, I have two lines of thought when it comes to this ending here, and one of them is I love these characters so much. I would do anything for them to be happy, and if that means doing some bullshit fake out death, I don't care. I love these people are happy, and they deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my other way is the actual what I think is actually happening. If I want me to get into that real quick.
We'll get into it at the end of it. Okay. We'll get into it at the end.
I'll get there.
But that's where the movie ends. It cuts to a post-credit scene with Godzilla, or a piece of him.
Yeah.
Pulsating.
Starting to regenerate.
And regenerate.
Godzilla music plays. Oh, so good.
And yeah, that's where the movie ends.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm okay with saying this. This is my favorite Godzilla movie of all time. And if I really had to be honest, I think this is one of the best tokusatsu projects ever made.
Yeah, I think objectively this is the best Godzilla movie ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we really can't do it justice. We've talked about it. This is our second time talking about it, but fuck, man, this movie is just so
it's so good.
It's so perfect.
Yeah.
And let's start talking about the
theories. So yeah, my main theory is so when you do see a little like black mark, or
yeah,
like
some
something in her
venom
body,
juice.
kind of looks like venom, in her neck at the very end, and I think the general consensus from everything I've seen is that those are like Godzilla DNA or Godzilla cells in her body, and for two reasons. One, Godzilla cells are a known about topic in the Godzilla universe for other pieces of Godzilla media. That's like in the Heisei series, which this guy's from, and what this movie is heavily inspired by. That's like the big plot point for the first half of that series is Godzilla cells, and so that's one reason. And two is because when right after the Ginza attack, when they're like doing like a news broadcast, they're talking about how they found Godzilla cells everywhere, scattered across like the Tokyo area, and so it's nothing confirmed, but that's just the consensus theory that she would generate it with Godzilla cells. And so I'm pretty sure a lot of the other people came back as well. They don't talk about it, but I mean, it wouldn't make sense. Only she can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's really the general consensus of the ending there.
Now, I think we should have this debate.
Okay.
There's been some discourse online. I think universally, most people agree this is an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Does it need a sequel?
Would I love to see a sequel? Yes. If the sequel gets announced, I'll be excited for it.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs one.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
If we do get a sequel, I would like to see this universe's version of a kaiju fight.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
I would love to see them try to tackle that kind of subject. I have no idea what they could do. You had an idea what they could do with like Biolante?
If they wanted to follow that same vein as the Heisei series and kind of make like a newer incarnation of that, then and they will really work with those Godzilla cell storyline, then Biolante would be a popular one to come up next. It would be very easy. I was also thinking like you could do like some Hedorah thing because of like that black kind of seems very smog monster-esque. You could do some fun things with that. I don't know. It can go anywhere they want, honestly, at this point. And
you'll be excited for it.
I'll be excited for it.
Yeah. And honestly, a little bit of me almost doesn't want there to be a sequel because I think this movie is so tightly woven that I almost don't want to see a sequel to it. And honestly, I think, again, I'll probably flip-flop on this, but if we do get a sequel, I don't think it should follow Koichi.
You think it should be like a time skip into like
it should be a new group.
Like a new era.
I
can see that.
Maybe they show up for like cameos or whatever. But I think making like keep it the same universe, but make it like where they tell these grounded stories with Godzilla in the background, basically. Like or as a antagonistical force. And yeah, I mean that's Godzilla -1.
Amazing movie.
One of the things that I like just like talking about it, we watched it in black and white.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that was so much fun.
It was fun, yeah.
And
I loved it.
I love that they did some color correction for it too. That like they obviously gave a shit about it.
Yeah, they weren't just like, all right, monochrome, send it out. No, they actually went through scene by scene and made sure everything looked good.
I know you don't like it, but if there's one thing I could have changed about it, is that when his spines start to spike up, I wish that was blue.
That would be really cool. I'm not disagreeing with that. I think they should have done it because of what the black and white was, like what it's supposed to be. But as a scene, I think that'd be really cool. Like if the movie was originally in black and white and just the spines were in blue, it'd be so cool.
Other than that, I really got nothing else to say. I mean, this movie is perfect. Go watch it.
Please. Over and over again.
Yeah, this movie. It's on Netflix. There were some localization issues. We even talked about it in an older podcast, And so it's finally gotten.
Finally here.
It's finally here. Go support it.
Yes.
Go watch the official release. Tell people about this movie. This movie needs to be seen by more people because there's been this other discourse, and we should talk about it at some point. Where tokusatsu isn't being taken as seriously as a genre.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's just a big monster movie, or that's just Power Rangers.
But this movie shows what our genre can do at its best.
Mm-hmm.
And so more people need to go and see this movie. Go spread it. Go talk about it. And of course, patreon.com/Tokunommentaries.
Gotta plug.
Where you see the commentary tracks for this and the Godzilla Monsterverse and all sorts of other stuff.
Yes.
Join the Discord in the link description below.
Yes, I would love to talk more about this movie on Discord. I could talk about this movie for hours.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Christian, you got anything?
I don't think so. I think we covered this movie very well.
Finn, watch the fucking movie.
No.
Bet.
Well, you heard it from Finn.
Out of spite, no.
Whatever.
Cringe.
Yeah, right.
If you want to pay cringe, join the Patreon, patreon.com. Yeah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I got nothing else. You got anything?
Nope, I think we're good.
Finn. That's a no from Finn.
No. Yeah, just make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye, friends.